The presidency of Jimmy Carter was a perfect example of that. And that polarization in the Democratic Party, as the Democratic Party moved left, the Republican Party moved right. And that's where we are today, with Obama as the most divisive president in the history of this country. Not in wartime. I mean, I guess you could say Lincoln was.
But I guess with
polarizing, but the issue there was slavery. It wasn't health care.
Right, but didn't President Obama run? I mean, I guess some people may have thought he was running differently if they fully didn't check into his background.
Well, Obama's a world-class liar, a bigger liar than Bill Clinton in a way. I mean, Clinton lied about things like sex. This guy has lied about really everything. I mean, he ran. He was going to be a uniter. He was going to be a pragmatist. He was going to include everybody in the discussions. He was going to think them through. The minute he got in, he's a revolutionary. He's ramming massive programs without allowing anybody, when nobody's reading, they don't even read the bills. They just ram through these trillion-dollar bills. And what it amounts to, if they succeed, would be a drastic change in the way we live. This health care program will allow the government to go into your bank accounts, see all your financial dealings, determine whether you live or die. I mean, who is anybody kidding? When you start rationing health care and you have one force in there, the government, then they make the decisions that are life and death over people. And it's all done is, it's my way or the highway. This is not the way our system was designed to work.
Then if I may ask you, then you have seen the system and been part of it since the 1960s, and your move from the left to conservatism, and you are an articulate spokesman for the conservative cause. But with the media being the way they are, or not wanting to press on some hard stories except for maybe one station like Fox News and a couple other blogs out there, how is the public going to truly see what is going on or hear, and what is happening to the press, and why are they stifling it?
I think it's pretty clear that we live in an age where the people, the press, can no longer act as a filter. In the days of Walter Cronkite, when there were 3 channels and they were all liberal, it was very. And I really hate that word because these people aren't liberals. Liberal would want 2 sides to a question. These are leftists. But when the media networks were all on the left, it was impossible to get a message out. But Obama is sinking so fast in the polls. I mean, after all, this is a first-year president. Americans always, give the benefit of the doubt. They allow somebody to show who they are and what they intend before they make the judgment. Already, his disapproval, fewer people approve of him than disapprove of him. This is remarkable, and I think it's unprecedented in the first year of a presidency. So I think people are getting the message. They get it over the internet. They get it over talk radio. And of course, the health care, it's complex because it's such a large bill, and there really hasn't been a bill. Now there's one on the table. But even so, the public is disaffected. I'm very optimistic in terms of the public waking up.
With the public waking up and some of these Tea Party movements and the 9/12 projects and people starting to get reacquainted with the Constitution in this country, do you think that movement has maybe helped slow and can possibly stop this bill?
Yeah, to me the most encouraging thing is that and they're usually pretty complacent, and they're also, more than ready to give people a benefit of the doubt, and this puts them way behind in the political battle. I've been saying for 20 years, don't call them liberals. They're radicals. They're leftists. They're socialists. And now that's what conservatives are calling them. But it's taken 20 years for that to happen. So I'm, and to see, I don't care if it was 100,000 conservatives or 1 million who marched on Washington. When did you ever hear of conservatives marching on anything? And that's good, because that's what it's going to take in the political battle. Conservatives have become a little bit less conservative in that way and understand that we're in a survival war. That's really what it is. What these stimulus packages and what the health care package, they're there to fund the political left. Acorn is going to help the government to sign up people for health care. The 30, the phony figure of 47 million who are uninsured, all those illegals. Who's going to sign them up? Acorn. They'll be voting. And, of course, Acorn will be funded. So this is to fund the radical army. That's what the stimulus package is. Not about jobs. It's about funding the radical army. That's what the health care part is. And, of course, it's also, since the government will know what your bank accounts are and have the power of life and death, government boards will say whether you get the medical care or not. Who's going to challenge the government? This is totalitarianism on the march, and with Obama at its head. The attacks on Fox. There's one channel that's critical of the government, and that the government is going after that channel. This is kind of, scary. These people mean to shut their opposition down and end American democracy as we know it. That's what the Obama administration is about.
So for people wanting more, I guess they could follow you on frontpagemag.com, as well as being president of the David Horowitz Freedom Center. You are working on several projects, aren't you?
We have a newsreel. We have a blog also up there called Newsreel Blog. You can get it on Front Page that covers all the cable shows. It's a very interesting blog. And I've conducted a campaign on university campuses in behalf of free speech and against the Islamo-fascist threat.
Then that may ask, well, if we're...
I think you'll find out a lot about me by reading A Cracking of the Heart, this book. I don't want to get too far away from the book because I feel there are a lot of people out there who are hurting with the loss of loved ones. God forbid it's a loss like mine where you actually lose the person, but a lot of parents have children that have grown away from them. And this is a book about a father and a daughter and their partial estrangement and coming together.
Well, David Horowitz, I thank you for joining us today and talking about your new book, A Cracking of the Heart, about your daughter, Sarah, her life, her writings, and as you said, a family coming together, and everything you're doing to help the conservative cause. We thank you, and you are one of the clearest political thinkers of our day.
Well, thank you.
For Valley Forge Patriots and Dead Cats and Clippings, I'm Diane Canny.